Emma Thompson had been on hundreds of interviews before. Red carpets, late-night shows, radio appearances, she had seen it all. But that morning, as she walked into the ITV studios for Lorraine Kelly's show, something felt off. The air crackled with tension, though no one could explain why. She was there to promote her new film Shadows of Winter, a dramatic thriller that was already gaining critical attention. The producers welcomed her warmly, offering tea, pastries, and the usual pre-show chatter. Emma was relaxed, cheerful even, until she stepped onto the set. Lorraine Kelly greeted her with her trademark smile, but Emma immediately sensed something behind it. Not hostility, exactly, but a tightness, a stiffness. The cameras rolled, the lights blazed, and the familiar theme music faded out. The interview began like any other. "Emma, darling, it's lovely to have you back," Lorraine said, her Scottish lilt warm but clipped. "Always a pleasure, Lorraine," Emma replied, smiling as she crossed her legs. They started with safe questions, about the film, about Emma's role, about the challenging emotional scenes she had to perform. Everything seemed normal. But then, Lorraine turned a page in her notes, looking up with a different expression. "And Emma," Lorraine began slowly, "there have been rumors going around, that you clashed with your young co-star on set. Some say the atmosphere became, well, quite hostile. Care to comment?" The studio temperature seemed to drop a degree. Emma blinked. "Hostile? No, that's not accurate. We had creative disagreements sometimes, but that's part of the process. Nothing dramatic." Lorraine leaned forward. "But some sources said you stormed off set on multiple occasions." Emma let out a small, incredulous laugh. "Stormed off? Lorraine, that's simply not true. If anyone stormed off, it was probably the wind blowing the door." The audience chuckled lightly, but Lorraine didn't. "Well, other sources claim you were the reason shooting was delayed by 2 weeks." Emma's smile faded. She inhaled deeply, remaining composed. "I don't know who your sources are, but they're feeding you nonsense." "I'm quite professional, thank you." A sharp silence followed. Lorraine pressed on. "Let's be honest, Emma. You've been known to be particular on set. Some would even say difficult." Emma lifted an eyebrow. "Particular? Yes. Difficult? Not unless someone is being unprofessional." "Lorraine, where is all this coming from?" The tension was visible now. Even the camera operator shifted uncomfortably. "Just doing my job," Lorraine replied tersely. "People want the truth. And people will get the truth," Emma snapped, her voice steady but icy. "But not if it's twisted into clickbait." Lorraine's eyes narrowed. "Are you suggesting I twist things?" "I'm suggesting," Emma said slowly, "that you're asking questions based on gossip that doesn't deserve daylight." The producers in the control room exchanged panicked looks. This wasn't in the script. Lorraine crossed her arms. "Well, Emma, some viewers think you've become a bit self-righteous lately." Emma opened her mouth, then closed it. Her jaw tightened. "Self-righteous? For calling out nonsense? Forgive me for defending myself." Lorraine didn't blink. "It's just that many actors younger than you seem to handle these rumors with more grace." The audience gasped softly. Emma straightened in her chair, the hurt flashing instantly in her eyes, followed by anger. "Ah," she said bitterly. "So now we're making it about age. Very graceful, Lorraine." Lorraine shifted uncomfortably but kept her posture. "I didn't mean it like that." "Oh, but you did," Emma said, her voice razor sharp. The implication was clear. "And frankly, I expected better from a woman who's had her fair share of tabloids attacking her." Lorraine's face flushed a deep pink. "We're live, Emma." "I'm aware," Emma said coldly. "Maybe that's why you should be more careful with the weight of your words." The studio audience sat frozen. Even the cameras seemed to hold their breath. Lorraine glanced toward the producer off-screen, clearly irritated. "If you can't answer questions professionally, then perhaps we should end." "No," Emma interrupted, standing up abruptly. "If this is the direction you want to take, then I will end it. I won't sit here while you try to humiliate me under the guise of journalism." Lorraine stood as well. "You're overreacting." Emma looked at her with a chilling calm. "And you're provoking." With that, Emma turned sharply toward the wings of the stage. "Emma, we're still on air." Lorraine called after her. But Emma didn't stop. She walked off the set, leaving Lorraine speechless, the audience stunned, and the cameras capturing every second of the drama. The producers scrambled to cut to commercial, but it was too late, the explosive moment had already gone viral. The commercial break felt like a hurricane hitting the studio. Producers rushed around with headsets pressed tight to their ears, assistants whispered urgently, and Lorraine stood frozen at her desk, her face still flushed from the confrontation. Cut to backup segment. Now, the director shouted from the control room. But the damage was already done. Emma Thompson, beloved actress, Oscar winner, national treasure, had just walked off live television after calling out Lorraine Kelly. Clips were already spreading on social media. Emma destroys Lorraine live, one trending caption read. Another said, Lorraine Kelly exposed by Emma Thompson. Millions were watching, sharing, commenting. Lorraine sank into her chair, exhaling sharply. She tried to regain her composure before going back on air. She had handled countless guests, celebrities with huge egos, politicians who tried to dodge her questions, singers who fainted under pressure. But Emma Thompson, that clash was different. It hit deeper. Lorraine, we need to finish the show, a producer whispered, handing her new cue cards. Lorraine nodded stiffly. Fine, put me back on. When the show returned from commercial, Lorraine smiled, but it was shaky at the edges. Well, that was unexpected, she said to the camera, forcing a small laugh. Sometimes live television brings surprises. We wish Emma the very best. It was polite, too polite, and viewers heard the strain behind it. The show wrapped awkwardly, and as the theme music ended, Lorraine immediately headed backstage. The hallway buzzed with whispers. Staff paused mid-step when she passed, unsure if they should offer sympathy or avoid her entirely. Lorraine entered her dressing room, shut the door, and leaned against it. Her hands trembled. What happened to me? She muttered. Why did I push her like that? A soft knock sounded. Lorraine. It was her executive producer, Caroline. Can I come in? Lorraine hesitated, then opened the door. Caroline stepped inside, looking worried but controlled. I'm not here to scold you, Caroline said. But we need to talk. Lorraine sank into the makeup chair. I know. I crossed a line. Caroline sighed. Not just a line. Several. Emma wasn't some fresh actor who needed toughening up. She's Emma Thompson. I didn't intend to attack her, Lorraine whispered. It just happened. I felt she was dodging, and the questions kept coming out sharper. Caroline watched her carefully. Lorraine, this isn't like you. You're one of the warmest hosts on TV. What's going on? Lorraine stared at her reflection. She barely recognized the tense woman in the mirror. I don't know, she whispered. But when Emma snapped back at me, something in me snapped too. Meanwhile, somewhere across London, Emma Thompson sat inside the backseat of a black cab, breathing heavily. She rubbed her temples, trying to calm the pounding in her chest. Rough morning, love, the cab driver asked gently, glancing back in the mirror. Emma let out a humorless laugh. You could say that. Her phone buzzed non-stop, agents, publicists, journalists, but she ignored every call. She replayed the moment in her mind again and again. The tightening in Lorraine's voice. The cheap tabloid insinuations. The unexpected jab at her age. It wasn't the questions themselves, it was the betrayal. Lorraine wasn't a stranger. She was someone Emma respected. Someone she thought respected her back. By the time the cab reached her home, reporters were already gathering outside. Emma groaned. Just drive around a bit, she told the driver. I'm not going in yet. He nodded and circled the block. Emma looked out the window, her anger cooling into something else, exhaustion. Hurt. Confusion. Why had Lorraine acted that way? Her phone buzzed again. This time it was a message from her daughter, Gaia. Mom, are you okay? I'm seeing clips everywhere. Call me, please. Emma closed her eyes. She typed back quickly. I'm fine. Just overwhelmed. Home soon. Love you. But she wasn't fine. Not entirely. Back at the ITV studio, social media managers were panicking. They gathered in a small meeting room, staring at screens filled with tweets, hashtags, and rapidly accelerating view counts. We need a statement, one of them said. From Lorraine or from ITV? Another asked. Both, ideally. This is exploding. But before any statement could be crafted, the door to the meeting room opened, and Lorraine Kelly stepped in. I'll handle it, she said. Everyone fell silent. Her eyes were tired, but determined. Emma deserves an apology. A public one. I went too far. The team exchanged stunned looks. Lorraine Kelly admitting fault so quickly. It was unheard of. But, she continued, I need to do it properly. Not PR polished. Not rehearsed. I'll say exactly what I mean. She took a deep breath. I'm going to Emma's house.